Reject the insidious pressures in society that would blunt your critical faculties to all that is happening around you, that would caution silence in the face of injustice, lest you jeopardize your chances of promotion and self-advancement.
The UK film industry has class divide at its very heart. In October 2018, the BFI definitively stated that there was an avoided class issue in UK film during their Breaking the Class Ceiling panel, avoided only perhaps if you're the higher-ups of the industry itself. Shaheen Beg during the panel commented on the industry's invisible, unconscious bias. This statement seems almost counterproductive. It implies that there is an issue, yet provides no indication as to the source of the issue and implicates no blame. There is a source, and there is rightful blame to be laid. Unlike race, sexuality or gender, legally class is not a protected characteristic. This leaves those in lower classes vulnerable to opaque hiring policies in industries that are institutionally classist. A shockingly low 12.4% of employees in film, television and radio are from working class backgrounds. This is in part due to the economic vacuum breaking into creative industries causes for those of lower socio-economic standing. I say lower, however what I mean is average according to the demographics. Here's the biggest issue: the working classes are not seen as the average. We're discussed as though we're on the fringes and that the higher classes are the benchmark. Working class lives are treated as niche. 2018 study Panic found that for those from working class backgrounds, unpaid work was seen as inescapable and a form of exploitation. Those from upper middle class origins expressed the same weight of expectation to work for free, but were more likely to describe the potential career benefits of unpaid work. Someone of a lower background will not have the same means to support themselves without being paid. Someone from a privileged higher class background has a greater potential to fall back on the financial stability of home and family. It's well known by any film practitioner that your first work comes in terms of pay, as credit, exposure, or lunch. Who works in the sector is a crucial form of inequality. However, the reasons for and consequences of this inequality are complex. They include unpaid work, but also more subtle barriers to entry, such as the homogeneous values, attitudes and tastes of people working in cultural occupations. What this means is the rich like to work with the rich, the haves like to work with the haves, not the have-nots. The film industry has been crafted as a class hierarchy, the higher classes keeping the filmic bloodline clean by determining who they let in through a series of economic and cultural barriers. Initially, this barrier is state education, keeping the arts underfunded. Government policies value film only as an industry and as a producer of exportable commodities, helping to create a loose handbook for UK businesses, the 2019 to 2020 International Strategy for the UK creative industries to ensure growth and stability in the coming years, all while significantly undermining the inward investment into new pools of creative talents. They have an insidious attitude of increasing profit from the established whilst keeping down the emerging. Secondly, through inadequate funding available to emerging filmmakers. The BFI's Film Fund statement is to develop and support original UK filmmakers and films and to increase the audience who can enjoy them, to reflect the public in the films we support, the audiences who watch them, and the filmmakers, actors and crews who make them. The BFI is presented as a powerhouse of British culture and a bastion of working class cinema. They are in fact an arm's-length branch of the government's Department for Digital Culture, Media and Sport, funded by lottery ticket sales, working to push a commercial film agenda, whilst no organisation of the same standing exists working for the cultural imperative. Despite this, they still remain one of the best hopes for emerging filmmakers in Britain. Finally, through the choking economic vacuum where working class filmmakers struggle to even breathe and cannot afford to live. Economically, it would seem, the exclusion of the working classes makes sense. The few who do try to make it are treated as expendable free labour for entry-level jobs. The cinemas too. For them, economically, short-term salvation lies in the middle-class pound that extends to wine and gourmet popcorn, but the exclusion of the young, skin and state-educated from a mass-market art form is a shame. The lack of diversity on our stages, screens, airwaves and online is one of the biggest issues our industry faces. In Dante's Inferno, the ninth chasm of hell is reserved for those who create division in their time. It seems the UK film industry would be no stranger here.
What doth it profit a man if he gain the whole world and suffer the loss of his soul?